Hey, tell us about the idea of motorized scooters to rent in the area. This isn't going to go the way of Lime bikes now, is it?
Well, I hope not. Lime bikes actually was, I am kind of having a flashback of Lime bikes and a couple of years ago, and Lime bikes actually was quite a success in Rockford. I think at one point we set a record for them, and most people signed up within a month. It was something like that, and you know what happened with Lime bikes is actually they changed their business model. Their business model was, previous to that was pedal bikes, and then they switched their business model shortly after coming into Rockford into going more electric bikes or battery-powered bikes. And, so Rockford, we had great success off the get-go, but also another thing that hurt us a little bit on the numbers as time went on was, if people remember, a couple summers ago, we just had torrential rains. I think we set records, in fact, with rainfall. So that inhibited the Lime bikes a little bit, but that really wasn't the main reason. It was really they switched their whole business model on a national level to go more electric, battery-powered. So that was one of the reasons they pulled Lime bikes from Rockford.
I didn't realize that. Yeah. Why pedal when you could just press the little button and cruise down the street?
Yeah, right. And so, on a 90, 100-degree day, which we get in Rockford, it would be a little bit nicer just to press a button and continue on your way versus huffing and puffing pedaling. But yeah, so the scooters are going to be, they were talked about before because Lime Bike was coming out with scooters as well. And, I personally felt maybe we weren't really ready yet with the infrastructure and such. And, they can be a little dangerous, no question about it. But, as time went on, I think they've been more accepted in other communities nationwide. And if you do travel to other cities, it's not uncommon to see them scooting around, especially in the downtown areas. So I think they have become more accepted. And so now they've approached us again, like Lime bikes. The city is not going to have to put in a penny of capital on this. It is starting out as a pilot program. So, we as the city and Bird as a company will be able to kind of give it a test try. And of course, pilot programs, we can, us or them can pull it at any time. But maybe just find out what little kinks need to be worked out and do so.
When do you think scooters are going to be dropped off in street corners?
I'm not quite sure on that, but it should be relatively soon. I would guess in the next few weeks. So
is it safe to say it's a done deal? We are going to, or we're deep into the exploratory phase?
No, as long as it passes council, we are in. So we did pass it on committee, and it's just again we'll see how it goes. They have worked pretty successfully in other cities. There are. And part of it is just to see how accepted it is within the community, and especially how people treat such an activity in our city. I like Lime bikes. There's going to be a few knuckleheads. I'm quite confident that we're going to find one or two in the river, probably.
Yeah, real quick. I mean, you bring that up, and unfortunately, when you bring up Lime bikes in Rockford, I think anybody that was paying attention, one of the first stories will say, "Well, you just said how many are going to end up in the river," and it did happen once or twice, but the overall, use of the bikes was done appropriately and responsibly, right?
Sure, and yes, and these companies figure into their business model of things like that occurring. And so they know that there are going to be goofballs that are going to, in Bird's case, may find one in the river or up in a tree somewhere, or somebody switches the B to a T with a marker or something like that. So I don't want to give anyone ideas.
No, they already have them, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure. I was a goofball at one point, too, in my life. I'm not sure I'm still
I was going to say, the relatable from our youth comes shining through at times, doesn't it?
That's why I get along with you two so well.
I think you're probably right. You're probably right. So you got to stay in designated travel zones. Obviously, you have to obey traffic laws. We don't want to see anybody getting hurt here.
Yeah, and to piggyback on that one, I mean, you said acceptance and safety are issues, and some of the things that go into that are people using it. You know, if it's a common sight and we're used to seeing people on it, that'll, I think, make it safer. But also education. I mean, educating the scooter users what they're supposed to do, and educate the drivers of how they're supposed to be interacting with them. Is there any sort of education effort put forward by either the city or Bird to get the community on the same page?
Yeah, well, I know on their website they do have some safety education, but I realize not everyone's going to go on their website and surf around. But, really it boils down to the scooters are to follow the same rules of the road as cyclists. So cyclists, bicycles, I realize, too, bicycles sometimes go on sidewalks and such as that, but really they're not supposed to. So you're not supposed to go on sidewalks, and you're really supposed to just follow the rules of the road as if you are a cyclist when you're on one of these scooters. On the bike path, I am sure there's going to be some situations with a scooter whizzing along, but it's really the same as a bicycle whizzing along on the bike paths. We have sometimes situations with that happening with bicyclists, running into somebody or somebody running into a bicycle. But so really they're treated just the same as bicycles.
The two cities I've been in that have this, Chicago, obviously, and well down there. But just this past, I went out to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and a robust scooter scene out there. I mean, they were everywhere. Do we have a number of how many scooters are going to be dropped off here in town?
Well, I was wondering if you placed a bet on ORU in the NCAA while you were down in Tulsa.
No, I put it on Tulsa.
Could have made some money on that, Joe.
Bad memories, dude.
So, yeah, I got to catch that, Joe. Again, I was thinking of you betting on ORU. What was your question again?
Do we know how many bikes are going to initially be dropped off in town?
No, I don't know that offhand. And really, Joe, frankly, this was actually done quite quickly. I didn't really find out about this until, a week, 10 days ago. I knew that it was maybe in the mix of something to come, but the details and all just got really thrown on to us pretty recently. So I don't know the details on how many. I know Lime Bikes was, a couple hundred. So I don't think there'll be that many. I think really they're going to be concentrated more in the downtown area. The footprint goes out further than the downtown area, but again, it's been stated that once they are programmed to where if it does go outside of the boundaries, the designated boundaries, they do shut off.
Oh, which I think is a pretty cool way of going, dude. You need to get back where we have it marked off. When all of a sudden you notice you're not moving any longer, quick indicator you're off the route.
Right.
I like that idea rather than saying, please, we insist that you not go over there. Please don't go over. No, man, you go over there, we turn it off.
Yep. So they do have a little sophistication to them. They do have GPS. They also will have an individual here that works with the company that, again, like Lime Bikes, if you find one somewhere where it's not supposed to be or it's been sitting for a long time, you can call them and they will come and pick that up. They also, similar to Lime Bikes, if there is one sitting for a while and hasn't been used, they will offer some, when you go onto the app, they will offer some incentive, i.e. discount, to grab that and take it somewhere. So that they are meant to be moved around quite frequently. It is not free, obviously. I believe, if I remember right, it was maybe 37 cents a minute. So it is. I think it's $1 to download the app, and then 37 cents a minute. So you can see that. It's not cheap. So I mean, it's a fun. It's looked at as some recreation also, but but for if you wanted to tool around for an hour or so, Joe, and bar hop or something, then it's going to cost you $20 an hour.
Were you listening to us talk in the hallway? I swear
This would be great for bar hopping, I think is what we said to one another about all of that.
I just want to make sure, Joe, you wear a helmet to protect that noggin if you're going to be doing that.
Yeah, we'll safety first, as always.
I'm looking at I'm over at the Birds website here and looking at their app and all of that. The reviews on it are pretty darn good about how well it works and how quickly you'll find where they are and how quickly you find yourself on one and off you go.
Well,
go ahead.
Yeah, scooters have definitely become more popular in general. I mean, my kids have the manual ones because I want them to get tired out and sleep at night.
Sure.
So yeah, they have, and so you see a lot of kids on the manual ones, but also you do see quite a few people that are getting the battery-powered ones and tooling around. So whether again it's for pleasure or recreation, but in some of the bigger cities, it's not uncommon to see somebody in khakis and a collared shirt and their briefcase strapped around their bag strapped around them and tooling to work.
Oh yeah, or a full suit. I mean, yeah, everyone's on it. You mentioned the kids, riding the scooters. Will there be a age restriction on these? Do you know yet?
Yes, you're supposed to be 18 to ride them. So there is a restriction, and you do need I believe a credit card to do the app. So, but obviously we know some kids under 18 are walking around with credit cards.
Yeah.
Yes, you're supposed to be 18.
I like the idea. I think this will be fun, and I like the fact that you brought up the most salient points of it, being not a penny of capital from the city because it's a pilot program. We just want to see how all of this works out. One side or the other could go, I just don't think this partnership is right, and we can walk away as friends. But it may work out to be a really great thing, and people love it.
Sure. Yep, and like I said, it has well in other communities, and there's no reason why Rockford should be left out with trying it too.
I'm looking forward to doing it. So I've ridden a couple in other cities, and it's a blast. I haven't done it just for transportation because I needed to get somewhere, but just tooling around. I can't. The bike path's going to be wonderful. Seeing those cruising up and down, and about the kids. If the worst trouble a 16 or 17-year-old isn't around here in town is illegally riding a scooter, I'll take that trade off for some of the other problems we have. So I think it's going to be fun.
And I get the idea. You'll have just as much problem with full-blown grown-up adults as you will as younger ones.
Absolutely.
I hope I'm not guilty of that myself. So
we'll go out and we'll try one together.
Let's do that. Yeah, the three of us will go out. We'll get a little video of us tooling around on scooters, and we'll see who the last person scooting is.
Count on it.
It won't be me.
Chad, we as always appreciate the time. We appreciate the expertise, the insight on what's going on. And you take as long getting back to us as you want. A guy working out and crawling back into bed is a guy we can get behind.
All right, guys.